like we said, we got a lot of feedback from last time, and we created a great structure for this upcoming hackathon. Now, it's all based on Teams channels. So I'm going to take you through each and every one of these channels. There's introduce yourself, announcements, issues and feedback, mentor help requests, the social feed, and training. So we'll go through each of those right away, real time, because I think that's the best way to learn. So if you come over here, this is my DevOps environment. This is Microsoft Teams as a whole. I am in my Teams tab over here, and within this Nurse Hack for Health Fall 2020 Hackathon team, there are all these different channels. Now, when you set up a team, you get a general channel, so everyone's going to be invited to this channel. But we do have channels that are contextually different depending on what you may need during the event. So we'll go through each of these in order here. Announcements. So as you can see, announcements, Dave already said, hey, thank you for joining. Here's some next steps. Here's an upcoming events and schedule, a quick fire challenge. Anything that the organizers want to share out with you, the entire group, that's going to be in the announcements channel. And as you can see, Dave's already been posting there. So check back there and make sure that you catch up on all of the latest with the organizers of Nurse Hack for Health. Big one that I want to focus on, as soon as you get into DevUp, the tenant here, make sure you go to the introduce yourself channel, okay? Because we want to know you. We want to know where you're from. We want to know why you're here. It's an awesome event, and we're really excited to have you here. So we need to make sure that as soon as you get in, go to introduce yourself. You can already see Teresa is a nurse of over 30 years. You see a little background of her. We have Cindy, we have Subu, Nikki, Marion. So people are already doing a great job. Molly McCarthy is a big leader for us in U.S. Health and Life Sciences at Microsoft, and she's already posting. So you can see some great examples in here, but make sure that you do introduce yourself. It's first of all great because we want to use this as a networking opportunity as well, but then you can also let people know why you're here, what skill set you have, what common backgrounds you may have, etc. So make sure you do that first. We'll go to the issues and feedback channel. Now, like I was saying beforehand, if you have trouble getting into Teams, then you might want to email that support email address, and I'm sure Dave will put it in the chat here. But once you're in here and you're having any type of technical issues, you can actually just post in issues and feedback. Okay, so we will be here on the Microsoft side. All the organizers will be checking this. You can post technical issues, but then you can also post any feedback you have for us, things we can do differently during the event, but also for future events. Any questions or comments you have, this is the place to go in terms of channels. The mentor help request. We don't have any of these yet because the event hasn't started and people aren't in need yet, but this is where we want you to come in and post if you need mentor help. Now, for people that experienced the event last time, you might be more familiar with the mentors, but there's a lot of people on the Microsoft side that will help both in terms of technical mentoring, but then we also have a lot of industry executives that are going to be here if you need people more on the healthcare side. Depending on what you need, post in here. We will be constantly monitoring this. If we're not the right people, then we usually know the right people and we'll help to connect you to the right person. So just make sure that you don't hesitate to reach out if you do need a mentor. A lot of the people that are coaching on the Microsoft side this time are actually joining a team, but we also have a lot of people that can dive into different teams if you do need help. Social feed. So the social feed channel, as you can tell right now, there's a lot of Twitter activity coming in from Flow. But we want this to be a place where it can be any social media, any gifts that you want to share, any type of, funny thing you want to share with the group, posting about a happy hour, anything socially that doesn't really fall into the rest of these channels. Feel free, super open forum. We love to see what you have to say. And we'll go over the sample team in a little bit. That we created that just so you would see what it looks like. But the last one that everyone's going to see is training. So training has a file tab. It has a notebook tab up here. A lot of the training piece is actually in OneNote, and you'll see this huge table of contents, all for like general training, Teams as a whole, Azure, Power BI. I mean, you name it on the Microsoft side. If there's a product, there's something in here to get you started. And again, if you need more hands-on help, feel free to post about a mentor help request. Absolutely, we're here to help you, and we have a ton of resources that are poured into this event. So that is all of the channels and a general overview of each of them. Are there any questions on the channels themselves?
We do not have any questions coming in yet, but I do want to highlight two things. One, if you can go back to the main post within the training, we just announced this today.
Oh, yeah.
So that last post there, free training to prepare for the hackathon. This is a cloud skills challenge. We've had someone that curated several different courses that you can take. These are all free. And we're actually going to do a little leaderboard on this as well. So I've added it as a tab in the training channel. Obviously, we just published this today, but you can sign up for this. You can start going through any one of these trainings. There are a lot of introductions. So if you're not familiar with what Power Apps are, then take the introduction. You'll at least know what it is. You might be able to relate that to the solution idea that you have in mind. But anyway, go through each one of those. We are going to be using GitHub for storing the repository for all the solutions and the MVPs that the teams are going to be building. So there is an intro to GitHub on there as well. So please definitely recommend getting in there, register for it. And like I said, there is going to be a little bit of a leaderboard in there that will keep track of who's taken what, and might be something special for those at the top of the leaderboard. I'll also point out, and Sam said this in the announcements channel. Can we go back to that?
Yeah.
The very first post at the top of this, and I'll try to bring it down as well as we have more posts. Look at this one post. If you look at anything when you first log into Teams for the first time, look at this one post, because it goes over several things that Sam just mentioned. You know, go to the introduce yourself channel, reminder that there's a training channel. How do you navigate the training channel? The team builder, which we're going to show in a minute. So again, read that post because that will get you started as well.